Well, hello everybody, and welcome back into Mama Angel's Kitchen. I know it's been a while, but I tell you what, guys, I have definitely been cooking. I just haven't been doing videos, and I really want that to change. I've done a few videos since I've been in my new place, which is not all that new anymore. I've been here a little over a year now, but it's definitely smaller. It is a challenge for me to figure out exactly how to record. But anyway, what I've really been up to, I've been catering. I've opened a small catering business, and that's keeping me busy. So I've been cooking up a storm. I just haven't been recording. So what I'm going to be trying to do is record some of my catering jobs. And that's all I do. And that's what I'm doing full time now. So I am loving it. But I also want to bring it back to my YouTube family. My subscribers are still growing, even though I haven't posted much, which tell me that you guys are still loving me and you still want to see more. So I want to do more. So what I've got going right now, and also, guys, if you are in the Tampa Bay area and you need a catering job, message me, let me know. I cater right now up to 50 people. Any event up to about 50 people is what I can handle right now as I grow more. But I also do lunch deliveries, and that's what's really keeping me busy. I do lunch deliveries Tuesday through Friday, but only in specific areas. I'm just not big enough to travel all over Tampa yet. But if you're interested in getting my menus, they go out every Monday. If you'd like to be on my list, email list, to get that menu every Monday to see what I'm serving during the week, and if you're in the area to have it delivered, again, message me and let me know. All right, let's get right into this, guys. I've got a job coming up tomorrow for teriyaki chicken and fried rice and broccoli. So I'm going to start on this teriyaki chicken right now, and I'm going to get it marinated, put it in the refrigerator, and I'll be back tomorrow and we'll get this thing finished. Alrighty, so let me turn you down to the food. So here we go. I've got, let's see if I can move you back. There we go. Alright, I've got it's probably about 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, cut up about this size. And all I'm gonna do is sprinkle just the smallest amount of baking soda. That's gonna help to velvet this chicken. There we go, that's plenty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and massage that in. That massaged in. And you know what? I forgot my soy sauce. Hold on one second. Let me grab that. All right, that's it. I've got that. And now I've just got some, this is low sodium soy sauce. You know. And y'all know I don't measure, right? Put that in there. Move it all around. And then next I've just got some garlic powder. Okay? And be very generous with this as well. Move it all around. And this is the marinade. This is what it's going to marinate in overnight. And you don't need a lot of flavor because that flavor is going to come from the teriyaki sauce, okay? And then I'm going to do a generous amount of, let me show you that, cornstarch, okay? I say generous amount, that's about it. All right, and then again, go ahead and get this all mixed up in there as well. And that's it, guys. I'm going to cover this up. Actually, I'm probably just going to put it in a Ziploc bag. And then I'll see you tomorrow Boy, it smells good already. That soy sauce and that garlic together, boy, it smells delicious. All right, that's it. Not looking for. All right, good morning, everybody. Our chicken has marinated overnight, so let's go ahead and get started and let's make some teriyaki chicken. First of all, I'm going to start with the sauce. Okay, and I've got several different sauces on their own that we're going to use to make this teriyaki sauce. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to point you down towards the food and I will show you the sauces as I add them. I'm trying to try and give you measurements, but you know me, just kind of watch and taste. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, that's pretty good. All right, I'm going to start with, of course, soy sauce. And I'm making quite a bit. So we're going to use quite a bit of sauce here. All right. Then we're going to go in with some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this bottle because there's not much, as you can see, in there. So I'm going to pour that in. Okay. Then I use just a regular store-bought teriyaki sauce. Let's go ahead and get some of that in there. And it's more of a teriyaki marinade, not really a sauce. Okay, get that in there. And I've got some hoisin sauce. Now, most of my clients don't like spicy foods, you know, so I do give them the option to bump up the spice if they would like to. But for the most part, I keep all of my sauces without any spice, all of my food, period, without spice, and then I'll add spice accordingly as requested. But you guys know me, I like sauce. I'm sorry, that was oyster sauce. Okay, and then I've got some rice vinegar, and it is a little sweetened and it's seasoned. I like this one a lot. I use it for salads. Now that, you know, I kind of watch and be careful what I'm doing there, but it's not real acidic. You know, it is acidic, of course, but it's not overly acidic. So, you know, you don't have to be quite as careful. And then I'm using brown sugar. Okay, and I've got a couple, I'm going to do a couple really good size tablespoons for that. And we'll stop there and we'll taste it. All right, let's go ahead and mix this together and see what we got. Now, I may or may not have to double this up. Because I've got quite a bit of chicken. So, and I like mine saucy. But let's see what we're working with here. That's good. That is good. Just like that. I like it. Just like that. Okay? Once you get your sauce the way you like it, go ahead and add in. I've got equal amount of grated fresh ginger and grated garlic. And that is probably half a teaspoon, maybe. I don't think it's a full teaspoon. It might be. But that's what I've got here. Okay? And then you go ahead and dump that in. And mix it up. All right. And set this aside. Okay? All right, I've got my cast iron skillet screaming hot. If you can see, it's smoking like crazy. Go ahead and put in a decent amount. This is just vegetable oil. Okay. Get moving around. All right, let's drop some chicken in. And I've turned my exhaust fan on above because this does get pretty smoky. So if you can hear that, that's what that is. That's what I want. You want to hear that fine sizzle. And pieces are kind of stuck together, and that's okay. Separate them as you go, as best you can. The real trick here, though, is not overcrowd this skillet. That's what's going to help get you a nice sear on there. All right, I'm going to let this sit for just a bit, and then I'll come back and show you when it's time to turn it. All right, let's take a look. I think we've got some that's brown underneath here. If you don't have one of those splash screens, those things are nice. It took me a while to get me one, but I love it, especially for stuff like this. Yeah, you see that? Let me show you that. Give a good look at that. That's what you want. That's beautiful. Now, chicken thighs are pretty forgiving, so I don't overly concern myself with overcooking them. Now, you can. But, like I said, they're pretty forgiving. Alright. Get these turned over, get them cooked through. Alright, so once I get a good sear on most of it, I just kind of move it around. And I'm just trying to get them done. And then I'm going to bring them out and put them in a bowl, and then do another batch. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get all the chicken done, and I'll come back and I'll show you how I make the sauce. All right, guys, the chicken is done. Here's the sauce again. I forgot to show you, I do put just a tiny bit of sesame seed oil in my sauce, and I do mean the tiny. Okay, that's it. Right there. Let's give that a swirl. And I've got my wok heating up behind me. And we're going to go there. But let me show you this chicken. Look at this baby. Oh, look at that chicken, y'all. Look at that. My goodness. Isn't it gorgeous? Just gorgeous. Let's see if I can get us a piece to open up here. Look at that. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I'm going to meet you at the stove. Y'all, that chicken is good and flavorful all by itself. All right. There's a wok. I put the tiniest bit of oil, just so I'm not going into a dry skillet. Let's dump our sauce, all of it, right down in there. All right. Get that. Alright, and I've got this on high heat. Okay, you want to bring this up to a bubble, a nice boil, until it starts to thicken. Okay. Alright, as you can see, guys, it's bubbling away. I'll let it do this I've actually let it do it. I'm not going to let it go much longer. You just want to let it do this, and it reduces and it starts to intensify, and it's also cooking that raw garlic and that raw ginger. Okay, but now I'm going to come in with a cornstarch slurry, and all that is equal parts cornstarch and equal parts room temperature or cold water. Okay, and that's what I've got right here. Okay. And you have to use, it has to be at a nice hot rolling boil, whatever liquid it is that you're trying to thicken. Okay, and then your cornstarch in. Now, I don't want this thick like gravy. I just want it thick enough that it sticks to my meat. Okay, but still leaves enough sauce to be poured over the rice, if that's what you like, which is what I love, which is why I'll make mine so saucy, because I want some sauce left over to go on my rice. Let's give it a little bit more. See how it's starting to thicken up? Okay. Gotta be careful because it will continue to thicken on you. That's why I'm waiting a little bit in between, because I don't want it to become a gravy thick. But I do want it to stick to that chicken. Let's go ahead and put the rest of it in there. You want to get the rest up out of there. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's get our chicken down in here. Yep, that's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kill the heat. And I can carefully, all right, let's switch utensils here. Carefully get this meat down in here. A little bit at a time. And I will put whatever juices come with this meat down in there as well. Okay. There we go. Ooh, baby. All right, let's get it mixed around. There you go, y'all. We got some beautiful teriyaki chicken. All right. You get this plated up, and I'll show you the full meal. All right, guys, here's that star. There's the chicken right there, and there's the sides that go with it. We've got some fried rice and broccoli. This is my family size meal. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I will talk to you later in my next video. Remember, stay prayed up. I love you guys. See you soon.